What's up, WATube? In the bike barn today, me and Nick, Dylan.
Stoked to fix all of the bikes you kids broke this year.
We're gonna winterize some of the things today. We gotta get the water out of the steel stanchion Suntour. Amazing forks, love them. You just gotta work on them a lot. So here we are, bike barn. We're gonna clean up first, so edit. For today's job, you're gonna need some towels, nice workplace to put a mallet or a hammer. You need a 10 mil. Special Suntour fork. You need a multi-tool or Allen keys or something. You're gonna need a dowel, or grease, some sort of degreaser. I prefer gasoline or gasoline. Paper towels. Wear gloves for this. I'm a professional, so I'm used to it. But first start with taking off that front wheel. Make it vanish.
Get that gas.
Get some gasoline. I'm just cleaning it off. Look at that shine. You just want to really clean around these seals. I'm not spraying gasoline or degreaser into the seals because check it, send it. Just getting this brake out the way. Let's grab your Allen key. 3 mil, your clip here. Just undo that. I always like to put these little pieces back on the bike. You're gonna grab a 5 mil, come down here to the brakes. Completely remove your caliper from the fork lowers. Be smart, just put it back together the way you found it. That way when you go back to fix it, everything's gonna be where you need it. Then you wanna get this doohickey out of the way. I'll just wrap it up nicely. Let's get these lowers off. Really easy process. You're gonna loosen these 2 nuts at the bottom. Go ahead and loosen those off. You wanna loosen them off so you just about don't see the thread, so it looks like that one. There's still a lot of contact with the threads. You don't wanna hit the threads with the hammer or the mallet. We wanna hit the nut.
Really? Nothing.
Because we can replace the nut if we mess it up. Don't need your mallet. If you can hit it accurately, hitting the seal, the parts start to fuse into each other, the lowers to the uppers, hitting these bolts right here. So I'll give it a go. And again on the other side. Give it a good whack. If you're using a hammer, use a piece of wood, stop metal on metal. And then you can go ahead and just loosen these nuts off all the way.
That's what I said.
Keep your stuff organized. Don't lose anything. This part's kind of fun. You get a good pull, it should just come all apart, so like that. More affordable forks like the Suntours. They're not as good at keeping water and dirt out, so if we look right here, you can already see dirt and water building up. I have not washed these bikes. I typically just wipe them down. This is the very reason I don't wash bikes, is because the water gets into all the places you don't want to get water into. And so if we had left this over winter, that would have been a lot of rust, and these forks wouldn't work for our spring season. Service your Suntour forks. This is where it starts to get a little more dirty.
That's what
This will pop off. So this is loosening with just my fingers. So go ahead and take your Suntour Ka-chow. It's a specific tool. We sell it on Amazon like 10 bucks for 2, so it's a steal. Preload. It's made of plastic, your tool's metal, so make sure you get really good contact. Otherwise you're gonna strip out these plastic pieces. Just be delicate. Go ahead and loosen this one off. If you want to take the fork off the bike, it can make it a little easier. It won't be turning on you. These are replaceable parts, so if you do strip them, you can find new ones. But you just got to make sure you get the right diameter. Your coil springs in here, and you want to just get those out. They might explode out, so put your hand over and push the bottom like this. And just slide that right out. That's where your rod comes in handy. There we go. All one piece. But don't be tricked, you're still missing a piece because there should have been a piece on the bottom of this. Somewhere in the bottom of this tube is a missing piece. And work the piece from the bottom up. This piece can be really difficult. It'll get sideways on you like this. We need that piece out. Clean off all of the old grease. We can give it a new life. You got one more spring to get out on your non-drive side. Really easy. If they're not seized, if they're new forks, this is gonna be really easy. If it's really seized, you're gonna have a hard time. Do the job before you need to do the job. So you've got one more piece in here. If you want to take off this bottom piece, little locking nut, little washer. Non-drive stanchion, you've got more pieces at the bottom, so again, just fish them out. There you go, there they are. 2 more pieces on that non-drive. Get those out. All your pieces laid out, your lowers separated and your uppers separated, and there's nothing in there other than some seals on the lowers. Clean every piece off. POV mount so y'all can see the fast time. Start cleaning off the pieces. Just like this. And if there's rust starting to build up on like a spring or a stanchion, you can lightly Brillo pad it and smooth it out, but you gotta be careful because there's the clear coating, and the more you scrub, the less clear coating you're gonna have, so the more susceptible it's gonna be to rusting again. Alright guys, don't forget to do your lowers as well. Grab your lowers and pick a good spot on the floor to spill everything. Getting any water or dirt in there. See it coming out at the bottom? You can take a paper towel or your pro towels or your blue towels or whatever towels you like to use. And just stuff it in there. And then we're gonna shove that rag down. And we're gonna shove that rag back. And you shove that rag back down. And it's pretty darn clean in there. That's the rag after. It's pretty dirty rag. So again, same thing on the non-drive side. Get a rag in there and clean it out. I'm on vacation every single day 'cause I love my occupation. But you need to do the same thing, uppers over here. So get the rag in, poke it down, and that should come out. There you go. Time to grease everything up and get it all back in. Non-drive side, this rod, a few pieces. Slide that on like that. Slide that one on like that. And just put a little grease on everything. Pro tip, use your dowel to guide this down, and you should just be able to work it down like that. Get a little washer here, grease that one up. Put this back on the same way. You want to have those open divots up. This is going to go back on. This really only has to be hand tight because it's just locking this washer in. Your spring, the spring that goes on the non-drive side does not have the rubber dampening. Grease it back up, especially the tops and bottoms. There seems to be a lot more water buildup at the tops and bottoms of these springs. This black part's going to go down first. And you're just putting it back in like that. Like this rod might not straighten out. It might be a little crooked, so pull it down and push down, and it should be perfectly straight, which it is. Grease up this part. You need to put this part on too. That goes on like that. So it all sits inside the fork like this. I think you can just drop this one. Boom. Plastic piece here, plastic on, and get our spring in. Around the top, the bottom. Just careful, and now you can push the top, and preloads are the same, so just need to be careful these go in perfectly. Do not cross thread these, they will strip. I'm just making sure it's going in nice and flat, like this. And most of it can be done by hand, this tool. Grab those lowers again, chuck a little grease in your hand, get a little grease in there, and get some grease down here. Work it in somehow. So a dowel will work that in. And like that. Your two nuts. And get this nice and tight. Doesn't have to be crazy. That's plenty. A little degreaser on a rag and clean up that fork. You've been working with a lot of grease. Put your brakes back on. But yeah, that's how you do a Suntour fork. WASheek style.
Best prank ever.
Yeah.